The WWE on ESPN era kicked off with WrestlePalooza over the weekend, but it looks like ESPN weren't too thrilled with WWE's premium live event, grading the show with a C and having some pretty scathing comments about some of the matches that took place on the show. We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, MVP shuts down the rumor that Tony Khan is referred to as SNOWMAN backstage at WWE. All this and more in this news update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. And before we begin today's news video, a huge thank you to everyone that has reached out with your birthday wishes. Yes, today is my birthday, so I really appreciate everyone that's reached out and sent all the nice messages. It's very much appreciated. Now, let's get straight into the news and begin with WrestlePalooza this past Saturday and maybe some not too kind comments from WWE's new broadcast partner for their main roster, PLEs. Now, WWE held its first premium live event of a new era on ESPN's new direct-to-consumer streaming service on Saturday with WrestlePalooza. Fans overall weren't exactly impressed with the show, which had an overlap of about an hour with AEW's All-Out pay-per-view. From the get-go, starting with Brock Lesnar's squash of John Cena to open the PLE. When ESPN graded the show, the outlet gave WrestlePalooza a passing grade of a C, but said only one match on the card saved the show from being, quote, truly average. ESPN named the match for the vacant Women's World Championship as the best match of the night, with Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky putting in work to entertain the crowd in Indianapolis, Indiana. Vaquer and Sky fought to a 20-minute battle, and in the end, Vaquer hit a corkscrew moonsault for the victory, picking up her first gold on the WWE main roster, all with her father at ringside. The outlet graded the match a B+ and wrote that WWE fans should go out of their way to see it. They graded the Vision's victory over the Usos and CM Punk and AJ Lee's victory over Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch both C's. In their story, ESPN said that every other match was either underwhelming, citing how short the undisputed WWE Championship match was, or just a setup for a future match like Lesnar destroying Cena in the opener. It noted that WrestlePalooza, quote, fell a little short of expectations, end quote, something fans across social media seem to agree with. WWE's next stop is Crown Jewel in Perth, Australia on October 11th. The show will see the champions from each brand square off for their respective Crown Jewel Championship, with undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins already being confirmed. So what are your thoughts on ESPN's grading of that? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. And before we get on to the next news story, a reminder, this video is brought to you in collaboration with all of our affiliates, including NordVPN. You can see right there, you can scan the QR code, click the link in the video description, or be pinned in the comment section. If you're in the United States, you can get up to 77% off plus 3 months extra free. A lot of people have been saying that they're not going to pay that extra money to watch WWE main roster PLEs on ESPN, where you can get a VPN through NordVPN. You can change the location to an international territory like here in the UK, and you can watch all of your WWE content through your Netflix subscription. That includes Raw, SmackDown, NXT, main roster PLEs, NXT PLEs. You can even watch Saturday night's main event for free on YouTube. All you've got to do is get a VPN. If you use our link, you support the channel. It is very much appreciated. Right, let's talk about AEW. An MVP shooting down a rumor regarding the president of the company, Tony Khan. Earlier this month, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that the WWE creative team internally refers to Tony Khan as, quote, SNOWMAN. The report was quickly refuted by Fightful Select, with multiple sources stating that they've never heard that name being used for Khan. Speaking with TMZ's Inside the Ring podcast for a new interview, MVP also shot down the rumor, joking that he only knows about Jeezy the Snowman. Quote, not us. I don't know where that came from. I don't know who put that out there. The only snowman I know is Jeezy. That's not anything I've ever called him, or I haven't heard that. So MVP playing down the likelihood of that rumor being true. Let's go over to Raw last night and talk about the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. As the WWE WrestlePalooza post-show was ongoing, undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes took to the stage, and coming out to interrupt Rhodes was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. The two talents went face-to-face and held up their respective championships. It was later made official that Rollins and Rhodes will meet at WWE's Crown Jewel Perth Premium Live event on October 11th to determine the next men's crown jewel champion. Rollins and Rhodes met in the ring on the September 22nd Monday Night Raw. Rollins asked Rhodes what he thinks of him. Rhodes responded by saying it's complicated because Rollins has made questionable decisions, specifically referring to his alignment with Paul Heyman. Rhodes then brought up that Rollins changed his life with WrestleMania 38, Hell in a Cell, and then tagging at WrestleMania 40, of course, where Rhodes later on won the Undisputed WWE Championship and finished his story. The Undisputed WWE Champion said the better question is what Rollins thinks of himself. He said Rollins is one of, if not the best, but that version of Rollins does not hide behind the vision. The World Heavyweight Champion questioned how Rhodes could shower him with praise, but also say he's the right guy to lead WWE into the future when Rollins himself is right here. Rollins called himself the Alpha. Rhodes responded by mentioning their 3 singles matches with him winning all 3. Of course, as mentioned, they're set to meet at Crown Jewel Perth, and they will crown the Crown Jewel champion for the men's division for that year. Speaking of which as well, it has been confirmed there will be a Women's Crown Jewel champion at the Crown Jewel event following her huge championship victory over Io Sky at WrestlePalooza. Stephanie McMahon has big things on the horizon as she was confirmed for the Crown Jewel card on Raw. McMahon will face the current WWE Women's Champion for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship at the Australian Premium Live event. As of the time of recording this video, Tiffany Stratton is the current Women's Champion, but that could change on Friday's episode of SmackDown, as Stratton will defend her title against Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. This match was announced shortly after a promotional segment for the Rollins and Cody Rhodes match at Crown Jewel, which will be contested for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Asuka turned on Monday Night Raw last night and seemingly finished with Io Sky. The September 22nd episode of Raw was headlined by a barn burner of a singles contest as Rhea Ripley faced off against Asuka in a singles bout. With a hot crowd behind her, Rhea Ripley was able to get the win in the end, trapping Asuka in a surprise pin after she accidentally attacked Kairi Sane. Asuka didn't take the loss lightly as she quickly covered and blinded Ripley with her signature mist. The attack continued from there, with Sane and Asuka beating down Ripley until Io Sky hit the ring to a major reaction. Sky was able to put a stop to the attack for a moment, but eventually Asuka took her down with a spinning back fist. Asuka and Sane stood over Ripley and Sky as the show came to a close. We saw a vignette last night on Monday Night Raw for Los Americanos. Now, on the September 15th edition of WWE Raw, 2 other versions of El Grande Americano helped El Grande Americano defeat Dragon Lee in a singles contest. Just a week later, a vignette aired on Raw that highlighted the Los Americanos faction, detailing some of the history behind all 3 versions of the character. After the segment aired, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee approached Adam Pearce, Raw's general manager, in the backstage area and asked to face 2 of the Grande Americanos in a tag match on next week's episode of Raw. Pearce granted this request just before Styles snuck in a snarky joke, telling him to quit hiring more El Grande Americano clones. So that match is set for next week. Speaking of next week on Raw, several other matches are confirmed for the show. Len Voro Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, is playing host to the September 29th edition of Monday Night Raw. Additions to the card were made last night during the episode on Netflix. First up on the docket is an Intercontinental Championship match. Rusev will get his shot at Dominic Mysterio's title. On the September 22nd program, Mysterio put JD McDonough in Rusev's path. During the match between Rusev and McDonough, Mysterio opted not to get involved when Rusev had McDonough trapped in the Accolade submission. There is also going to be a rematch from the WrestlePalooza Premium Live event. The Visions, Bron Breakker, and Big Bronson Reed bested the Usos at the PLE, and there is going to be a rematch on Raw that will be held under Tornado Tag rules. Joining the lineup is a singles bout between Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez. Bayley picked up a victory over Roxanne Perez on last night's show, and as I mentioned, there will be that match involving the 2 El Grande Americanos. Tonight, it's an episode of NXT on the CW, and there could be big TNA wrestling implications. WWE NXT seemingly could be set for a TNA invasion this evening after various talents voiced their displeasures online in storyline that TNA World Champion Trick Williams is set for a winner-takes-all title match against NXT champion Obafemi on tonight's show. The title match was set up during NXT Homecoming last week. TNA talents like Mustafa Ali, Ash by Elegance, and Mike Santana took to X throughout the show, and now PW Insider is reporting just who from TNA will be present at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida tonight. According to the outlet, Santana and Moose will be on the show, in addition to other talent PW Insider are working to confirm. Santana lost to Williams in a TNA title match at Slammiversary over the summer. Moose lost to Williams at TNA Emergence the following month. The winner-takes-all match between Williams and Femi was set up during a Grayson Waller effect segment on NXT Homecoming. Femi and his No Mercy opponent, Ricky Saints, were guests on the talk show when Williams interrupted and told Femi he had something that still belonged to him, the NXT Championship. It was Waller who set up the match for Tuesday, and whoever comes out of NXT with the title will face Saints at the Premium Live event this coming Saturday. Now, a bit of an update here on Becky Lynch and praise she's receiving backstage for her involvement in the return of the AJ Lee feud. Now, Becky Lynch wrestled alongside Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and AJ Lee in AJ Lee's first match in over a decade and the longest match of AJ Lee's WWE career. So WWE sources that Fightful spoke to said they felt the match went well and there was a lot of specific credit given to Becky Lynch helping lead AJ Lee after 10 years. It's become something that Becky has gained a reputation for. Several WWE sources, including some on the roster, were quick to point out this is something that Becky Lynch has done for years and noted that she specialized in this at this point. From Lita at Elimination Chamber in 2022 to the feud with Trish Stratus in 2023 to Nikki Bella at Clash in Paris this year, sources in the company say Becky Lynch has always looked at it as a welcome challenge and that the company has trusted her to excel in those situations. Fightful are told that it is at the point that a number of women wrestlers that have mounted comebacks have requested working with Becky Lynch as well. Now, a bit of a concern here about an injury in the women's division on the WWE main roster, specifically Piper Niven. A concerning update is out regarding the status of Piper Niven and her WWE future, and actually just her pro wrestling future in general. Now, there's a concerning update regarding the status of Piper Niven, who's been out of action with an injury since late August. On a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez reported that there is concern within WWE that Niven's injury could potentially be career-threatening. This follows an initial report from Fightful Select that confirmed Niven was injured, though the specific nature and severity of the injury have not yet been publicly disclosed. Quote, there's concern that it could be career-ending, so whatever it is, I mean, it's serious, Alvarez said. Hopefully she can come back, but she is out due to injury. Now, Niven has been absent from WWE television since the August 22nd episode of SmackDown, which was taped in Dublin, Ireland. Her last televised match was a significant singles victory over one half of the Women's Tag Team Champion Charlotte Flair approximately 1 month ago. Niven is currently part of a popular tag team with Chelsea Green, known as the Secret Hervis. The duo formed in August 2023 after Green's original partner Sonya Deville suffered a torn ACL. Of course, Alba Fire is also part of that faction. Switching over to Pro Wrestling Noah, and some WWE NXT superstars, Charlie Dempsey and Harlem Lewis, have made their arrival in Pro Wrestling Noah today, September 23rd, at the N1 Victory Finals. Charlie Dempsey and Harlem Lewis introduced themselves to the crowd and said they were looking to step in the ring with some of the best wrestlers in Japan. It was stated they would both face each other on October 4th. They will also compete at Wrestle Odyssey on October 11th in NXT vs. Noah bouts. WWE has had a working relationship with Pro Wrestling Noah, which saw Josh Briggs and Tavon Heights competing in the Noah N1 Victory 2024 tournament. Amos has also worked in Japan with Noah. Yoshiki Inamura has been part of NXT, coming over from Pro Wrestling Noah. Mickie James has been announced as the latest inductee into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. TNA Wrestling announced that Mickie James will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame during TNA Bound for Glory weekend. TNA Bound for Glory takes place on October 12th. James is a 5-time Knockouts champion. She last wrestled for TNA at Bound for Glory 2023, losing to Naomi. And finally, an update on Orange Cassidy and his return to AEW in-ring action. Following a tease from his conglomeration stablemates this past Saturday, Orange Cassidy is seemingly set to return to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday after missing the last 6 months. Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly all but confirmed Cassidy will wrestle this week, and speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed what he's heard about the AEW star status ahead of the six-man tag on Dynamite. Quote, Orange Cassidy was just recently cleared to return, so this is his return, Meltzer said. He's been gone for a long time from a torn pec. Cassidy will team with Briscoe and Hologram against 3 undisclosed members of the Don Callis family. The stable has grown consistently over the last several months, and the conglomeration has been feuding with the group on and off since July's AEW All In. Most recently, Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander teamed up to defeat O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii on the August 30th episode of AEW Collision. Ahead of Wednesday's show, Cassidy's last match before being injured took place in March, when he lost a 4-way eliminator match for the AEW International Championship, which has since been combined into the AEW Unified Championship. Cassidy has been a workhorse for AEW throughout the promotion's history, wrestling more than 250 matches over the last 6.5 years. The 6 months that he's missed this year marks the longest stretch of absences from Cassidy since Dynamite began in October 2019, though he has dealt with some other minor injuries during that time. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.